I thought it was going to benefit me, but I had no idea it was going to radically shift my life and knock me back into alignment like I've never been in before. Hey guys, what's up? It's Alyse here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my 30-day break from social media, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you. I think today is officially the 3rd day that I am back on social media after a full month without it. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Alyse. On this channel, I share videos about self-love, healthy eating, fitness, simple living, like living with not many belongings, and a variety of other things. So if you're interested in any of those topics, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click the little bell to turn on your notifications. That way when I post a video, you won't miss it. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about this. Let's talk about why I did it, how it went, and everything in between. I've been considering going off of social media for an extended period of time, whether it be a week or a month, for a long time. I have, before taking this break, not taken more than 1 day off of social media in 6 years, which is crazy. That's mind-boggling. I've been running my business, Raw Alignment, which is very social media focused, for the past 3 years, and before that I also had the apps, you know, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, sometimes Pinterest and Facebook, and I was on them every single day. And hey Hunter, you wanna hang out with me? What's up, dude? I'm filming. So my family dog is getting really old. Sometimes he just like shakes randomly, and he's doing it right now, so I'm gonna comfort him. I'll be right back. Whew, okay, I'm back. Just ran up the stairs, so I might be a little out of breath. Okay, so I've been considering doing this for a while, taking some time off, and it just got to a point where I just knew that it would benefit me so much. So instead of continuing onward and denying that intuitive feeling, I decided to listen to myself and to take time off and see how it benefited me and how it could contribute positively to my life. So one of the specific reasons why I wanted to take this break is because I share so much on social media. I share like every aspect of my life, and it got to the point where I was doing very few things that I didn't share about. Like if I went for a run, I would document that on Instagram story. If I traveled somewhere in the world, I would make a YouTube video about that. So I started to feel like my life was a little bit less special and sacred, because every time I did something, thousands of other people would know that I was doing it, and it just felt less like unique and less, I can't really describe it, but I think you might be able to understand what I'm trying to say. So that was one thing. And the other thing is that for the past year or so, I guess 6 months prior to starting the Appalachian Trail, I started to feel like I was losing touch with my true self. And I don't mean that I forgot who my true self was, I just mean that I know who my true self was, or my highest self, the best version of myself, but I was living a different life than that person. And not completely, not totally, but I didn't feel like I was living up to my fullest potential. And I feel like a lot of the reason for that is that my mind was cluttered. Like I was on social media every single day, hours and hours each day. And although it was fulfilling to share and to help people, inspire people to make positive changes in their life, it's so much to think about. I guess the best way I can describe it is that when you have a traditional job where you're working for another person, usually you have set hours, and when you're at that spot working, you're focused on work, and then when you're not working, you have your home life or your relationships, and it's like almost like 2 different lives, but you don't have to think about work if you don't want to when you're not there, for most jobs, I would say. And the difference that I notice with being my own boss, with being an entrepreneur, is that I choose my own hours, and since I love my job so much, sometimes it's hard to pull away and to disconnect with work and just be living life without documenting it, without sharing it, without thinking of how I can connect work into it and how I can help people through what I'm doing in every single aspect. So that's hard for me because I'm so passionate about what I do. I try and think of every way that I can do that. But from doing that for so long every day, my mind just started to feel very cluttered, and I felt less at peace, and I felt like I couldn't connect with myself as much. And here's me admitting it to you, I was not taking enough time for self-care during those 6 months prior to hiking the trail. Oh my gosh, the sun is blinding me. Okay, I fixed it. So I was not taking enough time for self-care. I was very jumbled in the mind. That's just me. I'm like a type A type of person, and maybe some of you can relate with that. I have no issue motivating myself to do things. Usually, I don't really have that big of an issue getting disciplined and doing things. Where I struggle is relaxing, and that's why I'm so blessed to have Addison in my life. He's a constant reminder. We're kind of that like yin and yang of each other, yin and yang. We help balance each other out. Anyway, going on the Appalachian Trail and hiking and immersing myself in nature for 3 months straight was so I can't even begin to explain how helpful it was for me, and how eye-opening it was, and how it allowed me to become more mindful and more aware, and just see things from a different perspective, and to remember how beautiful a simple life is. Returning here at my parents' house after hiking in the woods and connecting with myself and nature and just feeling grounded and all of that again, I just fell right back into the tendency to share anything and everything. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of correct my actions, because being on the trail, I had this intention that when I got back, things were gonna change, and I was gonna slow down and not work as much and like take more time for myself. Okay, so the first couple days that I was back here from the trail, I fell back into that. Basically, this 30-day break from social media was an attempt to correct my behavior and align my behavior with what I truly wanted to be doing, which was balancing work and play and relaxation and self-care and all of that. So I took 30 days off of social media. I deleted all social media apps from my phone, and I still had the ability to go to these places on my computer if I wanted to. I didn't go on any social media app or anything for 30 days, and it was so much more transformative than I could have ever thought. I felt like I was living again, and I just, like, thinking back to before the social media cleanse, I felt like I was a zombie. Like, I was so out of touch with reality. It's unbelievable. And I couldn't have ever realized how extreme that was until I felt the contrast between that and living so darn presently and being so aware of the beautiful intricacies of life, and just like, oh my God, life is so beautiful when you're living in it and when you're not distracting yourself with social media. Now, of course, being on social media doesn't mean that you're distracting yourself. In my circumstance, it's work. So in fact, it doesn't really mean that all of the time. To try and put things into perspective for you, I would wake up in the morning, and instead of reaching for my phone and scrolling for 15 minutes to an hour, I would live my life. I would get up and make my bed and brush my teeth and write in my journal and think of things that I was grateful for and read my manifestation list of things that I wanted to manifest in my life. And I would knock things off of my passion project list. I've recently decided to rename my to-do lists passion project lists. And I was so darn productive, but also totally balanced the amount that I was working with self-care. I started taking up yoga. I've always wanted to do yoga, and I just never was consistent with it. And I'm now practicing yoga multiple times a week. And I also got back into trail running, so I'm now balancing weightlifting and running and yoga, and life just feels so balanced right now. And I've achieved what I was hoping for. Now my goal is to continue on with this balance. It felt so good to complete numerous projects that I've been thinking of doing for years, like not just weeks or months, but years. These ideas that have been in my head that I kind of just like pushed away and would distract myself with other things. And I've gotten so much done in the last month. It's insane. I'm gonna link some of the things down below. I don't want to fill this video with talk about the things that I've done in the last month, but I'm gonna put some of them down below because I think you'll be interested in some. Yeah, I just feel so good. I feel refreshed. I feel like I'm a living person, and I feel like I'm myself, and I'm here in the present moment, and I'm not distracting myself. That's what it was. And again, I'm not saying social media is only used for a distraction, but a lot of the time it is. In the past few weeks, I have not only created balance in my life, not only been living more in the present moment, but I've also been overwhelmed more as the days pass with an extreme sense of gratitude and appreciation for absolutely everything. It's like so many times throughout the day now, I'm just almost brought to tears, like brought to that fine line where you're like so overwhelmed with these emotions and feelings that you're like about to tear up or about to cry, and then it's like, okay, no, I don't need to fully go over that edge, but it's just like the world is so beautiful. And I know I've said that before, but taking action in removing social media from my life and deciding to live in the present moment has just made me pay attention to so many things. I look at my dog now, and instead of just being like, oh, Hunter, I love him, he's so cute, it's like I feel so connected to him, and I feel what he's going through. And when I see him running in the yard, I'm just like overwhelmed with like awe and appreciation, and he's just so full of life and feelings himself, and it's beautiful. And when I look outside, I just feel so appreciative of what's around me. And before this, I used to kind of be like what I call a Hawaii snob, like anywhere that wasn't Hawaii just like wasn't good enough, and like wouldn't gain my appreciation as easily as if I was like looking at a palm tree. I know this sounds silly, but that's kind of how my mentality had been. And just reconnecting with myself and living more in the present moment and paying attention to things, paying attention to like this slight wind in the trees right now and watching the leaves move. It's just like the present moment has everything that we need to be happy. We don't need to wish for more, although setting goals and achieving them, like, it's fun and it can contribute positively to the world and yourself, but it's not necessary. And thinking of the past, that's a time that we're never gonna get back in our lives. So like right here and now is all we have. How do you feel right now? What's going on in your life right now? What are the sounds that you hear? What are the colors that you see? What is surrounding you? What's inside of you? What's outside of you right now? Like, that's all that matters. And my biggest hope is that I can just hold this feeling with me and hold this sense of gratitude and awareness of the world within me without feeling like I lose that again. And you know, that's a balance that I feel like I'm always gonna have to focus on and to strive for, and that's okay. But it's something that I'm dedicated to, because to lose touch with that, to lose touch with this simple, the beauty of like life itself, is so sad and heartbreaking. If you feel like you're in that spot right now, if you feel like you're just going through the motions and surviving and like you're not living up to your fullest potential and you're not overwhelmed with gratitude for what you do have, even if you're experiencing hardships, there is so much beauty right in front of you. And if you feel like you can't see that, if you feel like you're covered and immersed in darkness rather than light and love, then I just really hope that this story of my break from social media can be an inspiration for you. And that doesn't mean it even has to be you stepping away from social media, but I believe that we all know what that thing is, or what those things are that will help us get out of the darkness. There are things that we can do on a day-to-day basis that bring us towards light and towards love. I just hope that you will take action in following your intuitive feelings and listening to your heart and your gut and taking action with that. So there might be more that I'm forgetting. I didn't take notes for this video. I just wanted to speak from the heart. I think that kind of wrapped it up pretty well. How I was feeling before, just disconnected and kind of jumbled and too much going on in my head, and then how I chose to do this. I took the apps off my phone, and I did have bookmarks saved of social media places on my computer, and I took those away too. And then how it led me to feel during that time away. It totally transformed my life and my perspective, and it was one of the best decisions, probably one of the best 30-day challenges I've ever done, and I highly recommend it. I don't really foresee there being any negatives to one doing this. I did continue texting, I did continue writing emails so that I could in some ways continue with my work, continue connecting with people, and I also found that I had so much more to give. I forgot to share this. I actually went to the Woodstock Fruit Festival during the last week of this break from social media, and it was so wonderful to be able to connect with people and feel like I was so darn present listening to them and like hearing every word without thinking about, oh, I need to post a photo later today, or oh shoot, I didn't answer any of those emails that I just got. And like, just all of those thoughts were gone. They were irrelevant. They weren't coming up, and I was just so present with every beautiful person that I talked to. And I still feel that way after like incorporating apps and social media stuff back into my life. And again, my goal is to just keep this awareness and present living alive. So yeah, I think that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed watching and hearing about my story, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please share this with anyone who you think could greatly benefit from listening to my personal experience. I would love for this message to just be shared with more people because it's so darn powerful. Like I said, I thought it was going to benefit me, but I had no idea it was going to radically shift my life and knock me back into alignment like I've never been in before. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story, to watch this whole video. I love you so much, and I appreciate you, and I want the best for you. So again, if you're feeling like you're in a place of darkness, please tune into yourself and ask yourself, what can I do that is going to help me move out of this darkness and into a place of light and love? Okay, sending you so much love right now, and I'll see you in the next video.